Well, this is the world famous Snape Maltings, Benjamin Britten's sort of legacy, and just through there, just that is the concert hall through that gap. I think there's a concert on tonight actually. The proms. Anyway, this is the upper end of the Alde. This is the end of the navigable Alde, and you can see how much mud there is on the side there. Look, there's very little depth there, and you won't get any further than this. Iken Church. And you can get under this road bridge if you drop your mast or with a small boat, but that sluice gate that protects all the land above Snape, that'll stop you in your tracks. And looking at that boat there, now if you do want to buy a boat for a penny or two, I expect you'd be able to pick that one up. Now I think I'm right in saying that the Alde rises at Laxfield, which is probably about, I don't know, probably 15 miles a crow fly inland, and I think I'm also right in saying that it's not just the Alde, there's a car going by, that's not just the Alde that rises at Laxfield, but also the Blythe, and the Ore, as far as I can find out, rises at Dennington. And the two rivers join just behind me, about 2 miles back upriver, just outside Blacksall. An egret doing some fishing. And a moot swan. Well, that's very strange. I just had a moot swan making a noise. Would you believe it? So the two rivers, the rise at Dennington and Laxfield, and that's the Ore and the Alde, and they join at on Glenham Estate, just outside Blacksall. When they join, they then become the Alde, and this is the Alde, and this goes right down to Aldeburgh. When it gets to Aldeburgh, it ceases to be the Alde, and then becomes the Ore, and goes past Orford. I think that's because the two rivers possibly came together thousands of years ago, but at some point, from what I can gather, the Alde went out at Aldeburgh. Now there's a shingle spit that runs right down to Orford, and then runs further on, further than that, right down to Shingle Street, and then out to sea. And at Orford, Batley Creek joins the Ore. These barges used to come up this river all the time when it was a proper Maltings, bringing the barley up and taking it away again once it had been malted. Somewhere here is where we used to drop the punt in when I was in my teens, and then take this river winding down, right down towards the church in the distance. And this, of course, is the Snape Maltings. Well, this is the river from Iken Cliffs looking up towards Snape, and this area was breached several years ago now, and has been reclaimed by the sea. Now we're looking down towards Iken Church. I think the tide is about probably an hour after high tide at the moment. That's the boathouse at Sandy Point, and there in the distance is a Sweet Seal. And if you want a trip out on the river, you can catch a boat from Snape Maltings. The house that you can see is Heath Mansion, just down towards Aldeburgh, on the that'd be the north side of the river, and that's just past Iken on the south side. That was the home of Mrs. Vernon Wentworth, who I was lucky enough to work for quite some time. I've been on that roof, and that was quite something as well. Sorry, I can't keep this still. I'm trying to sail, hold the camera and everything else, so I must apologise. But there you go, that's Heath Mansion. What an absolutely lovely lady she was. And I believe I'm right in saying she drove her Mercedes when she was in her 80s round Paris, so that's something to be proud of, because I don't like driving a car around Paris anyway. There you go. So that's Heath Mansion, and the whole of this area was Blackheath Estate. Oh, we're moving now. That's good. Yeah, it was Blackheath Estate, and it stretches right out to Noddishall. The river is one boundary, out to Snape and out to Aldeburgh. So a lovely area, and a lovely lady too. Now the area in front, apart from the private jetty, the area in front of the mansion, there's no mooring allowed there, and I believe that goes back to when the royals used to stay so that they could swim in the river. And I haven't swum in this river through choice yet, but I have swum in it, and it's remarkably warm, so that's a jolly good thing as well. Well, this is the area known as Little Japan, and this is where Sue and myself were planning to get to when the engine overheated. It wasn't a long sail, but it was a very important one. And it wasn't long before we said, all right, well, let's just put the jib up and have a little sail about through choice. And then on a nice sort of still day with, I don't know, 1 or 2 mile an hour wind, we decided to put the main up. I think I put the main up on my own to start with. I don't think that went down as a good idea in Sue's book, but now she's quite happy, as long as it ain't too choppy. She doesn't like it if that's too rough, and I'll be quite honest, I aren't into making any records either, so I'm quite happy to just sail down here like this. This is what I want to be on the river for. I'm not interested in racing or speed or anything else. All I want to do is be on this river, with the tranquility of it, the views, the wildlife, and with any luck, the engine switched off. Well, this is Barber's Point I'm now sailing round, and it's turning in a little bit, it's getting a little bit blustery, and that's just show how fast this river can change. But there's Barber's Point, and then going back towards the mansion and back towards Sandy Point. The area through the wall, I believe, was breached purposefully to create habitat for the bird life. Well, wildlife. Everything needs a river. There's so many things that depend upon it totally, including us. Now we have Aldeburgh inside, and there's a couple of meanders into the mooring field at Aldeburgh, and just one or two other houses and Aldeburgh Church you can see in the distance there. Now on the starboard side, as we're coming down river towards Aldeburgh, you can see the Martello Tower, which is on the right on the beach. There she is. There's that little boat going up the channel up towards the moorings, but unfortunately I haven't got time because I'm going to miss the tide at the other end. So that'll have to be for another day. But that's been a lovely sail down here anyway. So there you go. That is Snape Maltings down to Barbers Point, or just a little beyond. Hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed the sail. Next time I get on that piece of river, I'm going to get round the corner and into the mooring field, so you can see how that goes. And then beyond there, we'll go down to Orford and down to Shingle Street. So that's it for this episode of Suffolk Sailing and Saltmarsh, and if you would like to subscribe, tell your friends, and follow us, that would be absolutely marvellous. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe.